Hey guys, it's Lee in a fishbowl. Just wanted to do a quick update for you. I did one and my camera ran out of memory before I could finish it, so I'm just redoing it. It was just too hard to do it twice. So anyway, um, I have an update. We went to see the reproductive endocrinologist, the new one, Thursday for blood work. And it was just supposed to be blood work because I finally started my cycle, and they wanted to do it kind of at the beginning of the cycle. So we went Thursday. Kevin and I both went. They did a karyotype on both of us, so that's why Kevin went. He had to have his blood drawn for that. But they also did several other tests. They did one on the natural killer cells. They did a whole repeat loss panel in the new AMH. And then they also did an ultrasound. I'll tell you about the repeat loss panel and the AMH in a minute. But when I first got there, she was like, "Oh, we're going to do an ultrasound." I'm like, "Oh, that is not cool," because I did not know about that, and I'm not shaved. But long story short, she was like, no big deal." I was like, "You do know it's no shave November, right?" No, I'm just kidding. I do shave, but not my legs as much as I do other things when it's cold. And it's been kind of cool in Alabama. So anyway, she was like, "No big deal." So she puts me up on the ultrasound table, and I had the best baseline ultrasound I've ever had. I was so excited. I kind of was. This office, let me back up. This office is a satellite office from the actual doctor's facility, which is in it's actually in Pensacola, Florida, but we go to a nearby city here in Alabama instead of there because it's a little bit closer. And so this is a satellite office, and this nurse also is the satellite office manager. She basically runs the office. It's a very small area because there's only a few of their clients that they actually see there. So long story short, they she does everything. She drew my blood. She does my paperwork. These new bangs of mine are killing me. I'm sorry, y'all. She does the ultrasounds and all. And so I walked in, and the ultrasound was like this little machine, and I thought, oh gosh, this is going to be not good, because they always had to put me on the big machine at my old doctor because my ovaries are so difficult to find. My left one is always a booger. It's kind of behind my uterus, and my right one is just very fickle as well. I've had IUIs where they couldn't even see my follicles, and it was nuts because my ET levels were just beautiful, and they knew that I had to have beautiful follicles, but my ovaries just don't cooperate. And if you remember, my first RE, the one I left very quickly, he told me I didn't have ovaries because he couldn't see them on the ultrasound, which was ridiculous because I have a child, so I have to have something that's producing an egg in order to have a baby. Anyway, long story short, so she went in there and she did the little wand thing, and she checked my lining, and it was perfect for where I was. It was actually a little thick because my cycle started Monday, but it's been very light flow. It's actually finally just picked up today. This is Saturday. So it's kind of a long, drawn out, slow ant flow this month and this is my first one since my DNC. So, anyway, lining, she said, was still thick, that I'd probably shed all of it before the week was over, and I am finally doing that. And then she went to check my follicles, and she found my right ovary like that. And I already had like 5 or 6, she thinks, on that one. And she didn't really do a count. I just asked her, I said, "How does it look as far as, I mean, I know you're not doing an official antral follicle count, but does it look good?" And she said, "Yeah, you've got at least 5 or 6 on this side." And she turned the switch, and you could see the blood flow. I've never in my life been shown that. A little red dot started showing up where the follicles were to show that there was blood flow. And she even slowed down long enough to say, and look, she showed me this vein. She's like, "Watch, it's pulsing." And it was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It was so cool. Nobody's ever done that for me. So then she went over to the left side, and she found it, but like I said, it's really a booger to find because it's behind. Do you hear that? My dog is outside. My husband's out mowing the lawn, and my dog is outside, and he's howling for my husband, I guess because he's not in the garage with my dog, and my dog is he is not where he can't go loose because we don't have a fenced in front yard, obviously. Anyway, he was going home, But anyway, okay, so back to it. The left was a little more hard to see the follicles, but she was like, you definitely don't have any cyst. Everything looks good. And so she couldn't really get a count on there, but she said that it did look like there were some follicles, but that it was hard to really view it. But she estimated my antral follicle count to be at least 10 to 12, which was awesome. Especially for someone with the AMH level that I have, which is 0.46 in 2011. Who knows what it is now? So that brings me to the next thing. I asked her about my AMH level and I asked her about my records that finally got there from the other doctor. And she went through all that with me, and she said, and there's nowhere that shows that I had a repeat loss panel. And I know that they told me that's what I had at the other doctors. And they told me that everything came back normal. I said it was the same time they did the AMH test to me, so please go back and look at that date and see if you can find anything else that was tested that date. Well, lo and behold, the only thing that was tested besides my AMH was a karyotyping, which is just a chromosomal check. And everything was normal there, so that's good. And they did another one Thursday, so we'll see. It shouldn't be any different unless there was a lab error. But the other thing was, number one, my dog is howling. That's so funny. Number one, there was no repeat loss panel, which really irritates me if there really has not been one done with 6 losses now. There could be something very simple that a repeat loss panel could show that could help prevent these. Obviously, this last one was not preventable because it was trisomy 16. But some of the others, maybe there's an explanation that we just haven't found yet. So I guess it's good news and bad news. It's bad news that my last RE didn't do it, but it's good that maybe there's still something out there that could be easily diagnosed. So I would hope and pray maybe something shows up, and that could be a sure help. The other thing she said is the lab that they use for my AMH level is notorious for not doing very well with their labs, especially with the AMH. They don't know how to test the AMH properly. So she said, your AMH level could or could not even be that bad. Could be worse, could be better. So she said to take that 0.46 and throw it out the window, and let's just pretend like you're getting your first one now. She said, expect the worst but hope for the best. And she said, based on my antral follicle count, it's probably not great, but it's not terrible either. So we'll see. I'd take anything more than what I had. But we'll see. The results will be in the next couple of weeks, and so I'll update as soon as I know something. And then the other thing that was really neat was that we found out finally from the karyotyping. I never asked the last doctor when we talked. There was so much going on in that post-op that I told y'all about, with him telling me the door was closing and that we needed to go to counseling and all that craziness, that it really slipped my mind to ask. But I wanted to know if they knew the sex of the loss we just had in September, and they did, and it was a girl. So we have a girl in our family. And it's so funny because I've always thought of all my losses as boys, I guess because I'm the mother of a boy, and so you just kind of assume that they're boys. And because my husband's family is very boy heavy, there's only one grandchild, there's only one of our nieces and nephews that's a girl on that side of the family, so it's very boy heavy. It's always been a joke that Nelson's it's always been a joke that his side of the family can't have girls. So that's not true. We had a girl, and we may name her. I'm going to have to talk to my husband. We kind of thought about it and then kind of just moved on to other things when we were talking on the way home from the appointment. So, but it's really neat. I told K2, I said, you have a sister in heaven. And he was like, that is so cool, Mama. I always wanted a sister. So he's got one in heaven. So from the other neat thing about this doctor, I'm so trying to make this under 10 minutes since I'm at 9:15. But the other cool thing is they're doing a baseline cycle with me. I'm not going through any treatment. We're not even probably trying until after Christmas. But they're going to do ultrasounds and blood work on me to see, hey, my husband just walked in, to see if what I do naturally in my body. So I think that's really cool. I've never had a doctor that's done that before, that just says, let's see what your body does normally. So they're willing to do ultrasounds and to do progesterone levels and estrogen levels and all that to see if maybe my body's doing better than they expected or if it's not doing anything. So it's really cool. Obviously, I'm doing something on my own because I've gotten pregnant. Well, K2 was on Clomid. My first one was on Clomid, but none of the rest were medicated. So 5 of my 7 pregnancies were non-medicated. So that should say something that my body is doing something. So we'll see, but I'll keep you posted. I'll be going back in probably about a week and a half for a mid-cycle scan just to see if they find a corpus luteum to say that I ovulated or not. Who knows with this cycle being so odd because it's after my miscarriage and D&C. We'll see. But then they may do another monitor in December once I kind of regulate. I'm going to ask for it because I don't think we'll really start trying until after December. I just don't want to go through another miscarriage in the holidays. I've had 2. You know, I had my first miscarriage at 15 weeks was November 30th, so it dragged through the holidays and it was awful. And then the one I had this past December, the ectopic, was right dead center in the middle of Christmas. So I don't want to even risk that. I think we're better off waiting till January and just seeing kind of how things go. So that's my thingy for now. That's my update. I'll update as soon as I know more, but so far I'm liking this new RE. I feel like he's got a really good spin on things and it's a new perspective. So we'll see. You know, a reproductive endocrinologist is just a person, and I've learned that over the years that doctors are just people. And no one is expert in anything, really. Everybody is just making an educated guess. And so I'm hoping this one's a little bit better guesser than the last one. So we'll see. But thanks for watching, and we'll check back with you soon. Bye.